Hey, hello everybody, welcome to the sound test room. Today we are taking a look at ChordMaps 2, which has just had an update with an arpeggiator, and not long ago it had an update with a strum feature, so we're going to check both of those things out as well. This is my app of the week this week, so ChordMaps 2, app of the week. It's a marvellous thing, ChordMaps. I did a video, a few years ago now. Very popular video, it's still popular. Very popular video. I think it's had over 40,000 views or something. But ChordMaps on its own makes no sound. It's basically it's a MIDI controller that you can play from your screen, but it's mainly kind of used for composing ideas, maybe chord structures, stuff like that. It's a fantastic app. It's always been a fantastic app. Anyway, let's go and check that out and the new features in that. And also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, or consider becoming a patron or making a one-off donation. Help support what me and Joe do here at the Sound Test Room. Bless you all. Thank you for watching. And yeah, let's go and check it out. ChordMaps 2. Okay, so here we are at the interface for ChordMaps 2. Now, I know it looks a little bit daunting. There's a lot going on, but you will never, ever need to leave this screen with ChordMaps. Everything you can do is available here with one screen. Okay, so before we get into the actual tutorial part and I explain everything and how all this is set up, etc., I'm just going to play you a little bit. So I'm going to turn on where it says BC hold here. I'm going to switch this on. And we're just going to blast through a few things, and this is some of the cool stuff you can do with ChordMaps. So yeah, let's go. So yeah, so ChordMaps is a MIDI controller. It controls MIDI, but what it's fantastic for is teaching you chord progression. So this section here is obviously where you would choose your key, or in this case, which is ChordMaps 6, you can see, you'll watch this change to an F here when I hit this F. So this is changing the key for you. Now the sounds are coming from AUM, and if I just well actually first I'll show you this. Where it says information, here are the MIDI channels for the notes, for the instruments being received. So chord sound 1, which happens to be a module, is assigned to MIDI channel 1. Chord sound 2 is assigned to MIDI channel 2. So whatever's in MIDI channel 2 in AUM, that's what will be the chord. In this case, it's BS16's choir. And we can easily do this if I turn off here. If I turn off C1, the only chord left now will be the, well actually you're hearing the bass, so I'll switch the bass off as well. And you're also hearing the ARP sound here, arpeggio sound number 10. So we can stop the ARP. Now you're just hearing BS16's concert choir. And if we go to another chord map, say chord map 0, you will see across the top of the keyboard and in this little box here is all the information of what's been played. So if I play this, you'll see it's A flat 5th. And what this is doing is playing the inversions. So if I switch the piano back on here, C1, which is module, let's go to it C, so you can see C. You can see it's playing C5, so it's playing three inversions of C5, although two of the notes are the same, obviously the C's, and you can see that represented on the keyboard at the top. And if we come out of ARP by tapping on ARP, all these here are two chord notes. Well, they're not two note chords, if you like, but they're not really chords, but they're two notes associated with so if you play a chord, just switch the second chord back on. So you've got M1 and M2. Now these are leads. That's Synth Master 1. And then M2 is Swan piccolo trumpet going through black hole. And we can mix them together if we want. We can go back to ARP, and then if we switch play ARP on, whatever is assigned to MIDI channel 10, which is the ARP channel that we know from looking up here, you see arpeggio sound is MIDI channel 10, that will also play. Now it's also velocity sensitive. Now this is meant to really teach you about progressions and stuff. Inversions. Now the hold function is really handy. If you turn bass and or the melody ones on, but you hold B and C is most useful. It means you can let go and then play some lead. Now, another thing to remember is you can absolutely not play a wrong note. Once you've selected the chord, all these white notes will then be relative to the chord you are playing here. Now you can see you have octave shifts here as well, so and this is good for both of the sounds, and you also have octave shifts here at the bottom as well. And then you, like I said, this tells you exactly what chord is playing all the time, F add 9, and it's represented at the top. So you can actually see. Now you also can leave the ARP running if you just, if you go tap on ARP, you'll see that there's still a little highlighted dot there. That means that the ARP is still running, and that means that we can now also play these as well as along with the ARP. So for instance, if I just play this chord, so brilliant, yeah? And like I said, you have loads and loads. These are just for working out melodies and things. And you have, you can choose any key you want anytime. Velocity sensitive, remember? Or you go to the relative minor for that particular key. The thing is, you don't need to know, because ChordMaps is telling you everything you need to know. I mean, Now you also have a strum feature, and if you're on bass and chord, it will strum the bass and chord. However, if you put it onto strum, go to your info and look, strum sound is in MIDI channel number 9, and I have nothing assigned to that strum sound. So let's head over to AUM and look along. See, this is how we've got module in channel 1, BS16 playing that lovely choir in channel 2. Then we have 2 synth masters. One of them is playing the bass, the other is playing the lead. And then we have the swam trumpet going through the eventide. And then all of these are extras we haven't used yet, because you have additional sound 1 and 2 as well. And then here is pure, which is playing the sequence, which is Let's Dance. But we could change that. We could change it to say, I don't know, guitar lead. Don't know what that'll sound like. And that guitar lead now will be our arpeggiated sound. But let's add the strum sound, and we said the strum sound was in channel 9. So let's go to audio unit. Let's might as well choose pure again, actually. And for the strum sound, we might as well choose I would choose electric guitar, and we'll just choose the jazz guitar just for fun. I've honestly no idea how this will sound. What you need to do, okay, so when you set up a new instrument, open a little toaster and then choose none on the channel filter, and then choose number 9 or whatever channel you want it to play in inside ChordMaps, and then make sure that AUM destination is selected as the MIDI source. Okay, so that's just easy peasy. And then if we head back to ChordMaps now, and there's our strum sound, which is really quite nice. So if I play with my fingers now, and that was that playing the electric guitar as the arpeggiate to sound. So yeah, I guess I can have a look at some more. So I'll switch the bass back on, and let's make some adjustments to that electric guitar so they can actually hear the sound. If I go into pure for jazz guitar and go to the effects, there's usually a limiter there. Yeah, cool. And actually we could just give it a bit of tube saturation as well. Okay, so now that's a little bit louder. We should be able to hear. Let's give it a color as well, while we're here. Let's give it some sort of nice kind of a yellowy vibe. There we go. If we go back to our ChordMaps 2, I've made that a lot louder. So let's try another chord map, maybe number 5. Now, other things to notice will appear, like you can choose different notes from you can play the bass anytime you want. You can play the chord. Now you can make, as long as there's a little dot on the arp will be playing as well. So that means we can leave the ARP section, go to string and play along. Change change chord map anytime you like. They're just here again, your inversions. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So many options for you to. I love this one as well. I just think this is brilliant. Now, if you want, you can change. Like, say, for instance, or say, oh, I'd like the strum sound to be my piano sound. Well, you see this display keyboard sound? I've got that set on channel 1 as well. I could say, like, let's set this on channel 9 if we want to. And now the display keyboard, which is basically this one across the top, which just shows you what's going on. You can play it, and it'll be the guitar. But you like, it's not going to play while anything else is playing. All it's doing is showing you what's happening. And this is showing you the chord. But now we've got the strum and this. So we could change the strum to, say, where's the strum sound now? Let's see. Let's change that to channel. Well, which is the orchestra, but let's say we wanted to change it to maybe the piano. So now we could be. And of course, your mix is down to what's going on inside of AUM. Now, the arpeggiator has tons of different variations here. You can choose 3, 4, 4, 4. This is going to be your tap tempo if you're using it standalone. Yeah, you don't need to use AUM. You can use this in standalone, like, but you know. Change some of the arps up. So let's say turn off the bass and the chord. So now all you're hearing is the arpeggiator and the lead if I choose to play it. If we change the arps, loads of different arp variations. B and C will arp the chords and the bass. So you'd need like nice velocity sensitive sounds. I really like BC2 arp 12. And then we can drop in our... And don't forget, like I said, you can add additional sounds in as well. I haven't got any additional sounds in for channels 6 and 7. So I could go and add some additional sounds if I wanted to in AUM. That would be no problem at all. So, and that means that we could like alternate. So maybe we let's see, let's make sure we've got our channel right. Additional sound for 6 and 7. Right. Okay. So let's go and add a 6 and 7. Here we go. 6 and 7. Let's add a sound in here for 6 and 7. Let's go. What's going on? And that's my hardware input and audio. Let's add another BS16 and let's do all our channel filtering and stuff now. So AUM destination for the start off and none and 6. channel 6. Okay, and now all we need to do is choose a sound. So let's choose something that's kind of we're going to hear. Let's do chorus tiny EP. Okay, I'll make sure my volume is at a kind of a relatively cool level. Actually, we can hear it here. So, okay, let's go back to ChordMaps, and let's switch off C1 and C2, so no chord, and let's switch off the bass as well. Actually, we can do it all here. So I'm going to stop the ARP. We're going to hear nothing because I need to turn it on. So Alt 1, or is it Alt 2? Now, what have I not done right? I'm going to leave. Right, let me just check. Additional sound is in channel 6. Destinations are all correct. Done. So I've got. Wait a sec. Make sure you turn A on. So you can switch everything off here as well. So turning off both of those and this module. So turn them on all on, nothing in Alt 2 yet. We can control the kind of overall instruments from here. So just the chords, but all chords, just the bass, which is, I need to switch it back on there. Just the bass. And we can add a sub. So drop the bass an octave if you wanted to. And then turning chords on, but turning C1 on, and we're gonna just have the piano now. The alternate, the additionals. Brilliant. I think it's absolutely super. I really do. So like I said, it's good to have, if you have your chords all turned on and all the additional sounds, kind of bass sounds and chords can all be switched on and off via this, which saves you kind of messing around with either ors here if you wanted to. But you've got such control, such cool stuff going on. Anytime you want to know absolutely anything that's happening in ChordMaps, all you need to do is hit this little icon at the top here, the little question mark, and this will show you all our chord map types and what they're doing. This is for your bass keys, it just tells you everything you need, everything. So you're never kind of lost. But although it looks like there's a lot going on in it, it looks complicated. Once you understand that you're just basically playing MIDI elsewhere, and don't forget as well, you can set up AUM to record you can set up AUM to record itself. You could put a drum beat in AUM and just play along with the pattern. The thing is, you can't play along a wrong melody, so you can mess around, get some really nice melodic ideas going, get some brilliant chord ideas going. Either play them in live via ChordMaps, or just sort of make notes of what chords have been played if you're not sure, and just do it that way. Limitless. It's limitless. Brilliant. I loved it when I first reviewed it. I thought it was fantastic. It's just really nice. It's great for working out chord progressions, and it's nice to have the hold on for this, I think, because you can let go. Oh yeah, that's nice. Awesome stuff. There you go. ChordMaps 2 with the updated ARP feature. Now, the strum feature was updated a while ago, but the ARP is new. Anyway, guys, listen, I seriously hope you enjoyed that and kind of learned a little bit more about ChordMaps. Let's go and have a look at AUM one last time. So how you set this stuff up is kind of self-explanatory. Just spend a little bit of time setting up your 10 channels, mapping them to the correct MIDI channels, and sending the information that you want from ChordMaps into AUM. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, or consider becoming a Patreon to help support me and Joe and what we do here at the Sound Test Room. Bless you all, and I will see you later. Ta-da! ChordMaps 2. Epic stuff.